Colorado turns 141 today, so let's celebrate with our state constitution and your comments about the state we love.
We the people.
We the people.
We the people.
We the people.
We the people of Colorado.
So how cold is the water?
August the 1st. This is Colorado's birthday, statehood. 141 years.
With profound reverence
For the supreme ruler of the universe.
In order to form
a more independent and perfect government.
I do love how active the state is.
The mountains, the nature, the outdoors.
Yeah, I love it here. First time I saw the mountains, fell in love, and I love it.
Establish justice.
Ensure tranquility.
Provide for the common defense. Promote the general welfare.
I love the weather. You get to experience every single season here.
Also, what attracts me is the hiking in the mountains.
And the Rocky Mountains are beautiful and
Beautiful, beautiful state, as most people know. Everybody wants to come to Colorado, right?
And secure the blessings of liberty.
To ourselves and our prosperity.
Do ordain and establish
This Constitution.
this Constitution
This Constitution.
this Constitution for the state of Colorado.
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 Happy birthday, Colorado.
Picture our national parks. Your favorite scene. What is it in your mind's eye? Is it mountains, canyons, sand dunes perhaps? I would bet that you were not picturing an underwater scene. There's a small office right here in Lakewood that has the mission of protecting our underwater parklands. It's called the Submerged Resources Center, and we head there through the lens of our photojournalist Chris Hansen.
The mission of the National Park Service Submerged Resources Center is to locate, document, and interpret things that we find underwater in national parks and with partners. My name is Dave Conlon. I'm chief of the National Park Service's Submerged Resources Center here in Lakewood, Colorado.
In Lakewood?
In Lakewood, Colorado, yes.
My name is Brett Seymour, and the Park Service calls me an audiovisual production specialist, which is a very fancy title. The same reason the National Park Service is set aside in land, why we preserve these places, is mirrored in the underwater world.
Of the 400 plus national park units, more than half have significant underwater resources and underwater things to see and to explore.
And that's part of the mandate of the Park Service, is to say, look, this is important to keep as it is and to leave unimpaired for future generations, and that mandate exists underwater, which is why our program exists, is to help parks who don't have that in-house capacity make those decisions and tell those stories and kind of create an environment where this stuff is significant and it does need to be protected.
And what we're doing when we're doing these things is we are mapping them, we're documenting them, and we want visitors to come to national parks and have the same sort of adventure and same sort of experience that we have when we're there as well.
Spent probably the most amount of time consecutively in terms of what we do for parks is the USS Arizona and Pearl Harbor. The Arizona is kind of a model of what this office is all about. A park has a resource underwater, they don't know what it is or they don't know how to manage it, so our job is to either come in and find the resource or document the resource and then make recommendations. How long will it last? Can it be open to the public? Is there any environmental problems? Is there any issues with artifacts being removed? All of those things. It's a real touchstone to the past. I mean, the National Park Service is really good at kind of memorials and white plaques and those kind of things, but here you have those things, but you also have the actual the touchstone, the physical remnants. I kind of always liken it to like Gettysburg, where these amazing things happen the National Park Service interpret, but the things of the event are still on the deck. So it'd be like going to Gettysburg and still seeing a rifle in a trench. This is a pitcher, a water pitcher. There's bowls in the galley area. And then oil release is another issue that we have with the USS Arizona. So there's still 500,000 gallons inside. And this is kind of traditionally how it seeps out. So you're balancing an environmental issue with more of a memorial issue. So there's still nearly 1,000 men that are inside the hull of the Arizona. So it's a maritime grave. It's an Arlington cemetery, if you will. There's a huge percentage of people that won't ever see this, right? So the idea of having an office like this that specializes in underwater, it's kind of interesting and unique, but really we create these products that help people understand what's there.
Wasn't that floating ball of oil wild? That was cool. The Submerged Resources Center in Lakewood is so well respected internationally that foreign governments often call on it for help. In fact, a team left today to help the government of Mozambique document and survey the wrecks of ships that were used in the transatlantic slave trade. Senator Cory Gardner finally found a town hall format where he was willing to face Coloradans and take their questions. I understand it can be tough when you're the only one in the spotlight taking the heat from a whole angry room.
It's easier when there are a few people taking the incoming fire.
I mean, if nothing else, at least some of the questions have to go to other people up front, right?
After declining to say if he'd do a town hall of his own, he tried out a group one. Gardner was one of 4 elected officials taking questions, scheduled for 45 minutes down in Durango.
Announced just the day before.
And focused on a safe topic for the senator, the Gold King mine spill.
But hey, Senator Gardner can still count a group town hall as a town hall, right?
Right.
Right.
All right, very good. Glad we're agreed on that. You almost have to feel sorry, though, for Governor Hickenlooper, Senator Bennet, Congressman Tipton. They were all there, but the crowd came for Gardner. And they wanted to talk about the Gold King mine spill 2 years later. That's what the leaders did. The EPA chief had visited that mine where an EPA contract crew caused an environmental disaster. But we listened awful carefully, and we did not hear any significant new news about Gold King. What we heard was a lot of friction between Senator Gardner and the people he represents.
We're here to answer questions, so thanks for the opportunity for you to ask me questions. I'm glad that we're at this open forum. The question was, when will you give a real time? Honestly, we'll have more meetings. I don't know. I don't have my schedule in front of me.
Oh, sure, thank you.
Senator Gardner, to his credit, stayed late in Durango after the scheduled ending time of the event to take additional questions. And our Jordan Chavez caught up with him to ask why Gardner always claimed to be undecided on Obamacare repeal and replace. I mean, the guy ran on repeal and replace, and he was literally standing with Republican leaders as they unveiled that plan.
Well, look, I think I wanted to make sure that what we did was the best way to move forward on a repeal and replace of the Affordable Care Act. There were amendments that I was working on, and there were ideas that we were trying to put forward to make it that way. But ultimately, I voted to uphold the promise that I had made. But I want to make sure that we got the work done that we needed to in terms of the final bill and how it would look.
Inside the event today, constituents challenged Gardner to host an actual town hall, even saying he could be back in Durango, but outside working hours with maybe more than a day's notice. He wouldn't commit to that. He told us that these town halls are press-driven. One last note related to the public anger that has been directed at Senator Gardner in the last few months. He announced today that he's moving his Denver office. It was in a private building where protests and a long sit-in caused tension with the other tenants as well as the landlord. So his office is temporarily moving into the U.S. Custom House. It's a federal building, so obviously very different security. His spokesman told Next they think it's going to be better for everyone. Former Denver Broncos running back Montee Ball will not be playing in the NFL this season or in any season. He told me that he's at peace with the fact that his career went bust as he was drinking himself into oblivion. This week, Montee Ball is 1 year sober. He's back in Madison, Wisconsin, where he was a college football legend, but now he's just a student, trying to finish up a degree in sociology and hoping to help pro athletes struggling with addiction. First off, let me just say, 1 year sober, congratulations. That's no small thing.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it was. It's been a bumpy ride, but that's a milestone for me.
When you started down this road, did you expect that you'd be able to say that at this point?
No, I didn't. I really didn't, because it's. I understand. I understand what addiction is and where I was at in my life with my addiction. I did not expect for me to make it 1 year, so I'm very glad that I have.
What do you tell somebody when they ask you how bad was it?
You know, it's funny because when people ask me that, they would never guess that I was struggling with addiction while playing in college. You know, that's where it started. You know, started to lose myself, and, you know, I just carried that on into the NFL. And, you know, I believe, you know, proof is in the pudding. Proof is in the pudding. You see what it did to me, you know, after New England. And, you know, I'll just tell people just to pay attention to the habits that they're creating.
Were their teammates and coaches telling you that in Denver?
Oh, all the time. One player being CJ told me, and all the time he told me that I need to stop drinking. It's not going to end too well for me. And obviously, my running back coach, Eric Studesville, told me the same thing. But I ignored the signs, ignored them, and the rest, we know what happened.
Monte Ball told me that he hopes that his 1-year-old son, Maverick, who actually lives with his mother, Ball's girlfriend, here in Denver, the Maverick will someday be able to say that he's proud of his dad for confronting the greatest challenge of his life.
Our good news is that we've been on the air for a year, officially tomorrow. So tonight we celebrate those who love the show. We celebrate the haters. We celebrate those in our newsroom who helped us out every day. And we celebrate with a surprise for Kyle, a tribute to what makes this show colorful.
You just watched a man gain 25 pounds over the course of a year. Matt Pierce writes, congrats. What an awesome, creative, and fun 30 minutes every evening amongst all the doom and gloom of news. Matt, thank you. Thank you to everybody who has watched. You have enabled all of us to do something meaningful every day that hopefully makes a difference in our community. Thank you. See you next time.